Morning everybody, it's Pam Steele doing my usual blog. It's blog number 30 and we're looking at relationships. So as usual, if you want to download the book Grit Not Shit and Living Longer and Healthier and Happier through life, through this virus, then there's a free download on my website, crisisadvice.co.uk. So yeah, yesterday we started looking at how genuine relationships are based on trust, closeness, love, affection, through which one gains a sense of sharing and connectedness. And as it looks like we're going to be in this lockdown for a bit longer and all stuck with each other for a bit longer, I think it's something that's really important to get that communication between each other, that appreciation as much as possible. So there's a great new series, I think I mentioned it yesterday, called Normal People, which is the struggling development of love between two young people. And I think that highlights quite a few of the things that I'm going to be talking about. So anyone who gets a chance to watch that, it's on BBC and it's really, really interesting. So relationships have to be appreciated, constantly renewed, revitalized. And this, of course, involves supreme effort. So one of the first things that they always do, I think, in marriage guidance things is say, well, what was it you liked about each other when you first met? What attracted you? You know, so you get caught up in all the negativity of, you know, how people, those around you annoy each other, and then miscommunications between each other, creating further annoyance. So really think about what you liked about your what you liked about your partner. So relationships, of course, must be based on being friends. That's, of course, important. And being separate individuals. And I think it's so easy to try and change the person that you're with, make them more like you, when in fact that doesn't really help. So that, you know, that it's important that each individual has their own strengths, their own weaknesses, their own needs, and their own pathway for growth. I think Oscar Wilde did a great little epigram that said, a red rose is not selfish because it wants to be a red rose, but it would be horribly selfish if it wanted all the other flowers in the garden to be red and roses. And so I think this is what's the basis of being healthily selfish. After 2 long marriages, I found out eventually that actually it wasn't wrong to be healthily selfish. And I had thought that. I believe that men do the selfish bit much better than women. And you know, and I thought it was wrong to be selfish, but it's not. So being healthily selfish means that you're allowed to be your own rose, your own colour, your own individual person, follow your own career paths, follow your own interests, and but at the same time, it has been shown that relationships that have the most similarities are the ones that are the most successful. So it's not always the case where they say opposites attract. Well, maybe they attract, but it doesn't mean that they have a lasting and good relationship. So, yeah, and then, you know, that was the whole basis, wasn't it, for arranged marriages way back in the past. And it, and it is now, funnily enough, the basis of computer dating, you know, internet dating, Match, where they match the similarities as much as possible to 2 individuals. So we have gone all the way around from arranged marriages to the 60s, where we all said, no, we want to be free, we want to do our own thing. And a lot of failed relationships are now going back to saying, yeah, maybe we should go back to individual differences, but as much as possible similarities. Gosh, that sounds a bit like Boris with his roadmap, you know. But anyway, So, so what I'm going to do is just go forward and say some of the things that you can do communicating effectively with others. So I'm going to leave that. I think it's such a big subject and such an important subject that I don't want to tack it on to the end of today's blog. I want a proper day for it. So tomorrow we're going to be looking specifically about how we can communicate effectively with others, whether it's in a group, whether it's just two people, whether it's in a marriage, whether it's amongst friends, whether it's at work. And if only they had taught us things like this at school, then maybe we would get the basis for a future proper relationship. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to leave till tomorrow. Okay, thanks everyone for joining.